All right, we are recording, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first webinar in our back to school series. I'm here with, of course, my colleague Jenna and with Laurie Guyon, and we're so excited to be here to kick off your school year with some Buncee inspiration. So I'm gonna turn it over to my colleague Jenna just to say hello, and then I will introduce Laurie. So Jenna, if you wanna say a few words.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Very exciting to see you all joining from all over the world. Yeah, so I'm very excited. This is my first live webinar on the Buncee community team. So yeah, it's been a really great opportunity to be a part of this. So thank you.
And hello, everyone. I'm Gabby. Thanks so much, Jenna. Some of you may have known me, whether through our ambassador program or just being on, in and around the community. I'm really happy and excited to be here. Thank you, everyone, again for joining in. Jenna and I will be available for questions or anything like that in the chat. If you do have questions, you can please let us know in the chat or in the Q&A. We'll be able to kind of manage that and answer questions that you might have. And we'll also kind of take note of any questions that you do want to ask Laurie throughout. Another thing I wanted to mention before we get started, before I introduce Laurie, is that I will share my screen really briefly. I do want to just let everyone know that we are doing a giveaway, really exciting. And for everyone that, as you're an attendee here during this webinar, Laurie is actually going to go into a little bit more detail about this, but she's going to encourage you to do an activity to create a Buncee. And if you do go ahead and make that Buncee, or if you make some sort of school communication Buncee calendar, again, Laurie's going to talk more about what she'd like you to do and what she would encourage you to create. If you do make something like that and you want to share it with us on social, you'll have 24 hours to do so. So by 6 p.m. tomorrow, if you share it with us in that time frame, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a free subscription to Buncee Classroom Plus for 30 days. And if you are already a Buncee member, certainly you can share that with a friend and get them introduced to Buncee. And if you are new to Buncee, this is the perfect way to try it out and to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. We'll give you a little bit of a reminder of that at the end. But now I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Laurie. Laurie, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, please take it away.
Great, thanks so much. I see a lot of friends in the chat, so hello to all of you. I was going to type, but I wanted to listen to you, so I was like, I'll just say hello out, to everyone. So hi, friends. So good to see all of you in the that are here in this chat. I'm going to share my screen. And of course it's up here. So we're going to pull this back down. And like Gabby said, we're going to talk a little bit about connecting with our communities, but we're also going to give you some time to play and create, because I think there's nothing better than spending a little time creating. For me, it's like my relaxation moment. It's like, all right, the stress of the day kind of goes away when I could just create a Buncee. So we're going to do that together. I'll give you a template that you can use, or you can create your own as we go through. But for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself real quick here. I'm Laurie Guyon. I am the coordinator for model schools at Buncee's in upstate New York. I also do a lot of training with NiceGate, which is our New York affiliate. So if you have seen me before, you might have seen me on any of those places, but always reach out, always ask for help if there's something you have questions on. I'm very active on Twitter, so my Twitter handle is on here as well, so you can do that. I'm going to give you your first task, though. You'll notice I have 3 things that are listed next to me. I'm a big fan of the 3-thing idea of getting you to think of 3 positive things. So I put my 3 positives on here. My first one is my word, which is smile. That is my Twitter handle. It's something I've always been known for. I've always been a very friendly person, and smiling has always been something that I do. So that's my first positive. The second one is that I'm a huge coffee drinker. So I put that on there, that's like the positive moment of my day, that first sip of coffee. The saddest part of my day is that last sip of coffee. And then I also am a lover of elephants. So I put that on there as well. And it's a positive because if you know anything about elephants, you know that they're very family oriented. And that's what this is all about, right? Building that community and building that family. So you'll notice in any of my presentations, there's usually a little elephant that Buncee has on one of the slides here or there. So if you could take a moment and in the chat as you're saying hello, please put in 3 positives about you or about your day. It could be anything at all, but it's just something to kind of uplift us and build our community that we are here with together. And then where we go. So I wanted to give a definition of community, and really I Googled it. I'm like, what is community? You know, how do other people think of community when you're thinking of that word? And I found this one from a book, from A City Year by Suzanne Goldsmith, and I really liked it because it didn't say, it kind of said communities aren't always built on friends or groups of people that have similar tastes or likes or styles, or even people that understand each other. It's that they have a shared goal or purpose, that there's something that they want to do, and they know that they need a community to help build them. A community requires the ability to see the values in others, to see a potential partnership, you know, to be a part of something greater than something they can do for themselves. And I really love that thought, that that's what we're talking about when we're talking about community. And I was fortunate enough to be in the classroom for many years. And now in my role, I do professional learning more than I'm in the classroom, but you can still build community with your teachers, with your parents, with your administrators, with your students, with community members, with your whole global community. There's lots of different ways to connect and be a part of something greater than yourself. So I really thought that was a great definition to be able to use here. So we are going to really focus on ways that I try to build community with teachers, with students and parents, sometimes a little bit of an amalgamation of all 3. And I'm loving the 3s that are coming in. So if I seem a little distracted, it's because you guys are really coming up with some great ones. I can't wait to go back and read what's in the chat. And I love that somebody said the weather is beautiful today, because we are having really bad storms. My dog has been a mess today. She's been hiding under our legs all day because of the thunder. So if you hear a big boom in the background, it's just the weather that's coming through here. So we're going to start with teachers. And really when we're talking about teachers, we're talking about your professional learning networks and your professional learning communities. And there's lots of ways you can do that. It could be something as simple as a newsletter, which I'm going to share with you, but it could also be how you gather together. Tonight, we're building a PLN, right? You're all here on this call. We're all listening and learning together. We're sharing ideas. You're sharing your positives, and you're going to start to see others that feel the same way. I saw someone else say that they absolutely feel the same way about coffee as I do. So you know, there's a connection. We're building those connections. And we know that we're all in a different place. You might come into school one day and you're absolutely feeling kind of not so great, but you see your friend down or your teacher bestie, you know, down the hallway, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, today is going to be good because they're smiling, they're happy, they're going to lift you up, they're going to be a part of your day. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about teachers. So let's talk about some different ways that I like to connect. Now, I said I'm not in a school district. I actually service 31 school districts in my area, but I get to go into certain classrooms, certain buildings, certain districts a little bit more than others. But the idea is I tend to have to spend time kind of saying what I'm doing and the impact. So the first image you see on the left, that one that's purple, was one that I did early on back in 2020, where we had weekly meetings with superintendents from local schools and principals and all sorts of administrators. And they were kind of like, what are you doing? You know, how are you connecting with our teachers? And so I had to start putting together the stats of what was happening. So this was an early one back in April of 2020 of what was happening. And you'll notice that the topics, we're talking about newsletters, we're talking about webinars, office hours, we're talking about parent outreach, all the things that we were trying to do to make sure that we were staying connected, even though, you know, we were distanced, we were apart, and we were doing everything online. So one way you can use Buncee is to create these visuals of things that you're doing to kind of showcase the impact that you're making. It could be something like, hey, this week we all were able to get this many vocabulary words done, or we finished this many math problems. Take some of that data and share that data back out with your community and share it with your students to be able to say, look at what we were able to accomplish. Because sometimes looking at that greater picture can be very helpful. I was in a 8th grade Spanish class yesterday, or 7th grade, it was 7th grade Spanish class yesterday. And she does monthly parties with whatever class has the highest overall average. And she says, you know, I'm going to do all these different things. And if I think you're doing a really good job, I'm going to give you some extra points. And then that class gets a party. She cooks for them. So it could be something as that, so you're building that community. You're encouraging them to be the best selves they could be. In the center is pamphlets that I send out to our teachers that are interested in getting some training. And this is just an example of one that I put together on Buncee. I used a template that was already made, and I was able to make it visually appealing with all of the links that that people would need to be able to sign up for the different series that when I was running. So I was doing these smile sessions, because I said smile is my word, where we would have independent or self-paced lessons and different community outreach programs where they can come back and get some information. One of the classes they had was Get Creating on Buncee. So they were able to share ideas and do different things that way. So just showcasing some things that are happening in a very visual way. On the one all the way on the right is, I mentioned that I do a lot with NiceGate. This was back in 2019 when we had an in-person conference. I was able to say, here's where you're going to find me during the conference so we can meet up and do some different things. So you can see different ways that you can visually show ways that you can connect as a community. A couple other ways for teachers. I did this one during COVID last year for Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm actually going to open this one up and I'm going to play it if I can get the sound to work. Let me make sure I'm optimizing sound while it opens. Yeah. All right. So once this opens up, so during Teacher Appreciation Week, I put together a little video to just give a little, rah-rah, I'm here for you, for the teachers in one of the districts that I work in very often. This district I actually am in twice a week. They're an amazing district of teachers that just really did so many amazing things over, doing this virtual teaching. They just jumped in. There was no break in their ability to build the community with their students and with their families. And I just wanted to kind of give them a something to just kind of say, I notice, I see you, I hear you, I see what you're doing every day. So I put together this quick little video. So I'm going to play it for you.
Hi everyone, I'm Laurie Guyon. I'm one of your tech integrators in Queensbury, and I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you and know that you're appreciated during this Teacher Appreciation Week and every week. I know right now you would rather be in your classrooms with your students, doing fun and silly activities with them, and really engaging them in a fun and exciting way. And you just miss their silliness, their laughter. You want to be able to do these different things that you typically do with your students. But just know that even though you're home and everything right now seems a little out of this world, and that 2020 hasn't quite been the year that you expected, we just want you to know that we see you, and we know that everything you're doing right now is for the best of your students. And we know that you're trying new things, and we just want to take a moment and say thank you for all that you do. So keep smiling, keep working hard, and stay healthy.
So this was a simple thing that I was able to put together. I used a template that was built right into Buncee to make this easy for me to kind of just build and use. I had a little fun with the Snap video filters. You can create this right on Flipgrid too, or whatever you want to create the video part on. You can record right inside Buncee, which is what I did. I just used the Snap video to add some of the features. So it's a fun way to kind of get, kind of say something kind and give a little love back to the people that matter. The last one you see on your screen was one that I was working with a second grade teacher. She was doing this must do, may do list every day. It was just a Google Doc. And she's like, I want to make it a little more visually appealing. I feel like, I just have this list and it's kind of dull. And I said, well, Buncee, now there's nothing dull about Buncee, right? You have to be able to, it's a nice way to be creative. So what we did is we created this Buncee that she shared out with the students to say, this is what we're going to do each week for this subject. And we just put some information on there to kind of help people out that they were going to be doing different activities like Flipgrid and Buncee. And then we kind of gave them an idea of what was coming the following week. And she was able to build these for this project, but then the students were able to actually create their Buncees to be able to share back what they learned on their animal research projects that they did. So I absolutely love the idea of creating these visuals of what's happening in the classroom, because I think that students love seeing the different ways that teachers are being creative, and then it encourages that creativity with them as well. So shifting over to students. So that was some of the teacher ones, and obviously some of the bleeds into both parent outreach and to students. And we're kind of going to continue that a little bit when we talk about students. What you see on your screen, that big catapult that you see on the left that says Kiddos Catapulting Kindness. I have a couple slides I'm going to share with you on this topic, but this is something that Buncee made for a classroom this past year, which I just absolutely love the graphic. I use it as often as I possibly can. But we did this global impactor program with the DigCit Institute. And what we did is we had educators from all around the world that were doing different things to promote digital citizenship in their classroom. That they were trying to be global citizens, and they were using technology for good. That was the idea. And I had this one teacher she was taught 5th grade math, who said, I really want to do something with this project. And so I was able to mentor her through it, but she really did a lot of this herself. And her idea was she wanted to connect her students to the community around her and beyond. And it really became something kind of big. It really was an exciting activity. And this was a slide that she made that she shared back with me. So what they did is the students created these digital cards, and they used the hashtag, and this was the student created hashtag. They came up with it. They voted on it as a group, and they called it Kiddos Catapulting Kindness. And this was her 5th grade class in Queensbury. And you see the names of the students on there, and they were able to create lots of different cards for lots of different topics. So they did some local things, but they also went beyond. And let me show you those that went a little bit beyond the local. So here's 3 different Buncee boards that of the things that the students did. I'm going to start at this top one here and open it up for you. So the first one where they were Kiddos Catapulting Kindness is what they wanted to do was to say thank you to Red Cross workers. So they created this idea of let's send these thank you cards to other people around the world. So you can see it's got a lot of views and a few subscribers. They made more than one Buncee, and they sent these out so other people could add in too. But what they did is they created these little thank yous. So if I just click on any of them, you can see different ways that they said thank you. So thank you for giving people food was one idea. I'll just open another one here. Thank you for taking the time to help others during natural disasters. You're truly heroes. So they were doing all of these beautiful Buncees to share some thank yous to Red Cross workers. Well, the students kept doing this type of idea. So they did do this one, which this one was great. What they did is they wanted to say thank you to people working in nursing homes. Same kind of idea. Again, it was able to be sent out. We put out a request for anyone who wanted us to send this, this out to a nursing home that they knew to be able to say thank you. We were able to send these out. And again, you can see there's 137 Buncees on here. So a lot of Buncees were made both by this classroom and then beyond, because again, we shared it on social media and asked others to create cards as well. And you can see all the different ones on here. And then around Valentine's Day, the students decided they wanted to send a smile to seniors. I love the idea of the word smile, so I was pretty excited about this one. But here we were also thanking the people that helped them, but we were also sending Valentines out to say, hey, you're doing great. We're thinking of you. We want to send a little love your way. So like this one I thought was great because she said, don't forget to smile. So they were able to use Buncee to be able to create these really cool interactive cards to be able to send out to different places. Again, we used email and we had a spreadsheet of places we wanted to send it to. I actually sent this one to my mother who lives in a senior community, and she shared it with her friends because they just love to look at the cards and be able to read everything that people had written. So the students really used their creativity. They were really the ones that were at the forefront of this. This was students really building their own community. The teacher invited me in to teach them how to use Buncee, but really Buncee is so easy. It doesn't take long. I kind of just opened it up and said, explore and have fun. And then I walked around and encouraged and offered ideas as they were doing different things. Like I had one little girl, she's like, I want the words to pop. Show me how to layer words so I can make them pop. So I showed her how to write something and then, duplicate it to make another one so that it kind of looks like it popped on the page. So, they were really into doing these very creative things, and they had a lot of fun building them. So that's a one really fun way that you can get community involvement. They just sent these out. They actually took some of the Red Cross ones and put them into a video. So they kind of strung them along and put it on autoplay right here at the bottom of the Buncee. And then they added their voice on top of it. So they were able to share that as well. And then they did some local food drives and such, and then handed these cards out. They printed some of them out to be able to be included with that. So I love that they're making you happy. So the last part where we're going to kind of take some time to kind of build is talking about that community outside of your classroom, where you can say, hey, here's some ideas for you. So we did that outside the classroom with the global cohort, the global impactor program that I just showed you that we did. But here's ways that we were connecting to families, to communities, to give ideas for what you could do to make sure that even at home that students are thinking, that they're being creative, that they're collaborating, that they're communicating, that they're exploring their world. And that's kind of where we're going to go next. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I started doing these parent newsletters. And the idea was there were so many programs that were offering stuff for free. They were absolutely, it was just amazing. I was getting lists and lists. I was trolling Facebook and Twitter and just grabbing everything and saying, all right, I need a way to package this to say, here's what's available. So I started making these newsletters, and I put them all on this Buncee board. So you'll have access to all these. I'll share all of this with you. And what they were able to do is once I put them on the board, they could open any of these up, and at any point they can grab any of these and do different things. So I'm just going to grab one for an example. So I'm just going to open up one. And what they were was 4 ideas, something simple. Here's 4 things you can do. There's a link on each of the images. You see the little link icon of something to do as a family. So you can watch Pixar shorts, which I always used all the time in my English class. My favorite is the one about the birds. Social emotional resources. Buncee has a ton on social emotional learning and resources for that. Different dice games you can play. Okay, Go videos on YouTube so you can get everyone dancing and engaged and look at the physics behind the incredible videos that they make. Any of these would work. So the idea was I started there. And then when things kind of started getting, where we're coming back into school, the weekly newsletters might have just gotten too much, I thought. So what I did is I shifted to making monthly calendars instead, where you have an idea a day. So instead of doing one every day, that you have something you could do over the course of the month, and then you can choose from there. So I'm going to show you the September one. This is the current one. And let me open that one up. I have them all on a Buncee board because even if you're not doing them within the month, there's still activities you can do as a family at home or with your students in school, whatever way you want to do it. So what I do is I start with a basic calendar template, make sure my dates are right. And then I just start adding different events, different ideas, different resources. I always make sure somewhere on there that they're creating something, that they're learning something, that they're exploring something. The idea is I really want each month to have a ton of different types of ideas. Certain months tend to be a little bit more maybe more active focused, and certain ones tend to lean more towards like the reading and writing. Just depends on what's available during the month. But the idea is to get them doing different things. So for example, there's 2 major things happening today. Well, on top of the fact that you're all here on this webinar. But today, the first all civilian flight is going up, Inspiration 4, if you're not familiar with it. I put it on the 10th to get people ready for it, but today is the actual launch. It's happening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be watching. I hope you will be too. One of the civilian astronauts that's on the flight, I know, which is even more exciting. And then another woman that's on the flight was a St. Jude's recipient as a child, and she's a cancer survivor, and they're breaking boundaries and they're doing all these cool things. So yeah, you just saw it on the news. Yeah, it's super cool. So I put some information on something like that maybe people weren't aware of. But today is also International Dot Day. So this is the most creative day of the year, right? I mean, everyone should be creating and doing their different activities. So I put some resources for that as well. I hope some of your classrooms got to watch Peter Reynolds today on his Flipgrid presentation. It was amazing. So I build these different things to be, here's some things you can do at home. Sometimes it's unplugged, because really sometimes you need to step away. So like there's National Sewing, this is National Sewing Month, so why not do some sewing type of things? How about Batman Day? Watch a movie, be a superhero for somebody else, whatever it happens to be. That's the idea on these calendars, is to just have something fun and to build some community. So last week was Grandparents' Day on the 12th. I asked people to create buncees to tell their grandparents how much they love them. Tomorrow is the whole month is Hispanic Heritage Month. So I put some resources so you can celebrate for the whole year or for the whole month. So lots of different ideas. These kind of calendars are fun to do to really build community. You can make them for your classroom. You can send them home with families. I post them every month on Twitter. I put them on my newsletters. I have ones with specific districts that I send them to, and encourage them to send them home with parents. And then I also have ones that go out regionally that I do the same thing. So, these are always available. I try to do them every month, and I think they're super fun for people to kind of spend some time on and to do different things. And I love hearing when people say they actually did the activity. So every once in a while, somebody tells me, hey, I tried that website you recommended and it was great, or we did this activity as a family. And that's what we hope, right? Is that we're building that community and you're doing these different outreach types of activities. So what I want to do is I want to get you guys creating, because that's the whole point, right? Buncee is such a creation tool that just, we want to share the love, and we want to create, and we also want to just do something that's super fun for us, and Buncee's a way to do it. So I have this template, which I was thinking about afterwards. I did not change the numbers on it. So I'm thinking October 1st is not on a Wednesday. So we're going to have to check that one and move them around. But I use the same template every month. You can use any of the templates that are already in Buncee. This is just the one I had created early on, and I kind of wanted to keep it the same each month. But I'm going to give you a link to it. So let me copy it here. I'll put it in the chat. And like I said, you can use this one, or you can grab one that's already in Buncee. They have some great templates that you could absolutely use as well. And then what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to go see what day of the month October starts on, because that would be a good thing to know. Hang on while I peek at my calendar real quick here. And October starts on Friday. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move October 1st. You're going to have to click edit once you make a copy of that, and you guys are going to create with me. So I just clicked edit. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat too. And what we're going to do is we're going to move the numbers. So I'm going to move one to Friday, and I'm going to move 2 over. I'm going to move the 4 up and out of the way. And so the idea here is we're going to start just moving the numbers over, just so I have it right. And then once that part is done, I'm going to show you how to build. So just give us a second here to get the numbers right. So I'm just clicking and dragging them around. This part takes a second or two to do. It would have been nice if I had it done for you, so I apologize for that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a background. So November or October's next, right? So October has a ton of holidays that we could pull from. I like to try to stick with the seasons, so I'll probably pick something fall related. But if you're in different parts of the world, maybe it's not fall, maybe it's spring for you and you want to grab something else. I try to add in some international holidays, but I don't always know them all. It's whatever I could find on Twitter is really where I go. When you get to the end of the month, because you see as I'm getting to the end here, sometimes I'll move and put them so I kind of split the block. Sometimes I just end it. Like if I'm like, there's nothing major happening at the end of the month, or it's just a day. But for us in the States, we have Halloween at the end of October. So I definitely want to make sure and add those numbers in. All right, so I'm going to start with I missed 5. Look at that. Now I got to move everything. Well, let's just pretend that part is done, because I totally missed one. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a background first. So I'm going to click change background. And sometimes I like to look and see what they have first. So I always know that if I go right from the beginning, I can see recently used, I can look at newly added, which pops up first for me. And sometimes I grab right whatever's the newest one, because they tend to be seasonal too, or they're exciting and I haven't used it yet and I want to try it out. So I sometimes do that. Other times in the keyword search, I'll put in a color. So for me, fall, I think orange. So I'm going to type in the word orange and see what comes up. Oh, I got some cool ones here that are for orange. So I could pick any of these and use them as my background because they're beautiful, right? You can grab any. Oh, hey, look, there's even one with an elephant. So I'm going to grab this orange one with the elephant in the background. I'm going to start there. And then what I always do is I look for the month, and they have all of the months in here. So I'm going to type in October. And I'm going to grab that October. So now I've noticed that I've got this orange on red. So maybe I want to change that a little bit. Maybe I want to put something bolder on the back. So I'm going to actually change the background real quick. I'm actually going to type in brown and see what comes up. Yeah, see if we can get something there. And then I'm going to start to build, right? So now I've got a background. I sometimes change my background 5, 6, 7 times. It doesn't make a difference. You know, it depends on what you like. I love yellow backgrounds. The turquoises are fun. So I'll pull those different colors. But let's start with this here. And then what I do is in each of the months, I'll grab a text box. So you can do the same. I'm hoping you're building with me. I will make sure that when I'm putting the text in that I lower down to about 20 to 24 is about the right number. So I'm just going to go down to about 20. And October 1st, I'm going to just write create a Buncee. So create a Buncee, because that's a good way to start, right? Start out a month with something like that. And then what I do is I'll just duplicate this because now I have it the right size. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and click duplicate, and I'm going to move it into another box. And I'm looking to see if anyone put any holidays in. Give me a holiday in October. Help me out. What's something that happens in October that I should make sure and add onto my calendar? Since we're such an international group here, this might be a good time. Pumpkin celebrations. Ooh, so let's do something with pumpkins. So I'm going to say decorate a pumpkin. Yeah, we've got Columbus Day. What is Columbus Day this year? So somebody give me the date. Is it the 5th for us? October. Oh, Canadian Thanksgiving is October 12th. I'm going to add that one in. All right. I love that. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to duplicate this again. And I'm going to move it to, would you say the 12th? So I'm going to grab down, make sure I have the right dates. I'm still working on my days because I left out the 5. So I'm going to come to the 12th here. And I'm going to put in Canada, it is Thanksgiving. And then what I do is after I've got all of the things filled in, right? So, and I'm guessing October 11th was, yeah, October. Oh, you guys are getting some good ones in. Get Funky Day. Now that one I definitely want to add. Taco Day, absolutely. So once I fill all these in, so I'm gonna put in a couple of those. Let's put in Taco Day because that one actually, there's a nice dancing taco one that I love. Taco Day. Let's make tacos. And what I do is, I'll start to design once I have everything filled in. So let's pretend I have it all filled in. I'm going to give you time to do it too, but I'm going to grab that dancing taco. But I'll grab in the items that kind of go with it. I kind of stick to, you know, the obvious. If it's Taco Day, I'm going to put a dancing taco on it. And then I'll move things around based on how I need to layer. And then what I might do is I might find recipes for tacos. So I might go out, I Google search, you know, taco recipes for kids or something like that. And then I'll add it on. So let's do that real quick here. So taco recipes for kids, just so I can show you how I do it. Here we go. Kid-friendly taco burrito recipes from All Recipes. That sounds good. I'll copy that link. And then inside this box, I'm going to highlight tacos. I'm going to grab the link at the very bottom. I'm going to paste that in. So now when the students get this calendar sent to them for the month, they're going to have that link right on there for Taco Day. So let's continue building this because I see that we've got a whole bunch of things. Digital Citizenship Week is important for us. Yes. So let me finish my numbers here. while you're adding things in. Any questions come through, Gabby or Jenna, that I can answer now while I'm fixing my numbers?
I'm looking through, I don't see any questions specifically at the moment.
Okay.
But definitely if anyone has questions, let us know in the chat. And I'll field any questions we have at the end too.
Awesome. Great. Yep, we're going to go for a couple more minutes and keep building here, but we'll throw it open for questions too. International Day of the Girl. Oh, this is great. You guys are fabulous. These are great. We're going to fill this up real quick here. So, all right, now I've got it right. So I've got my 25, 26. And what I'm going to do is duplicate my 26, double click in the box, make it a 27. And then I'm going to drag it down. And I'm going to do the same, duplicate, make it an 8. Awesome. Thanksgiving is October. Oh, my calendar starts on a Monday. Now that is something you can decide. So if you go out and you make your own calendar, you don't have to start it on a Monday. I do, because for me, that's the beginning of my week, right? Is Monday, because that's when I go to work. So, so I started, and I like the weekends to be packed together because sometimes I can bridge activities between Saturday and Sunday. But you can decide how you want to set that up. So, you know, if you want to start it on a Sunday, like a traditional calendar, you're welcome to. So I need to move Canada Day to the 11th. Is the 11th also Columbus Day for the States? Is that the day we figured out? That one as well. 30. And there's 31 in October. Oh, National Bus Safety Week. We got some good ones. Ooh, and there's so many cool bus ones with Buncee guys on it. I love that. All right, so let's do that. So, oh, I have one more date to do. Let me finish. 31. So I start to get all like calm and relaxed when I start doing this. So you start to see me like, I'm like, oh, I'll just keep creating. All right, so what I do, a couple things as far as design goes. So as I'm adding in these different things in here, because you guys are giving me great. Oh yeah, breast cancer awareness. Awesome. World Space Week. Oh my gosh, so many great things. So what I would do is any of the month ones, I'll throw it on a date that there isn't something for the day. For the weeks, I'll try to add them in at the beginning of the week or early on in the week for them. Or if it's something that's coming up, I might do it on the weekend to be able to say next week, this is what's coming up, right? So, oh, M&M Day would be a fun one too. So then what I do is after I have all of these filled in and I have all of the dates filled in and I've made it all pretty, then I design the outside. So I probably I'm going to change this again because I'm not liking the combo here with the dark background. I feel like it needs to go like almost like I'm going to actually type in Halloween. See what comes up. I know that there's some good ones there. So nice spooky background. It's going to give me a nice contrast. Yeah, that looks way better. And then what I'll do is I'll start adding things around the outside. So let me go back to this for a second. I want to show you some of the finished ones just so I can show you as we're finishing up here. Awesome. All right. So let's go back to August since I kind of showed you September already. So as we're going through and building our calendars, just to give you ideas. So again, I have a summer background because August for us is summer. But you'll see that I have some things that are leading towards the next month. So here I've got create a Buncee of your goals for the next week or make a list of the books you want to read. You know, I put all of those different things in, you know, I made it nice and bold saying here, World Elephant Day was in August. But you can see like anything that is related, I try to put something behind it or give some layering to it. You know, it's just a fun way to kind of get these organized. So I'll show you the next one. Back in July, 4th of July is our big holiday in the States. So I added in some things there. But you can see you can really like pop different days by adding some layering to it. So I'll put an image and then the words in front of it. I've got Canada Day on here for the Canadians on the call here. So, you know, you don't have to stay within the box is my point. You can kind of design around the box as well. I like to add some motion in because those are always fun. And then you can link everything. Every one of those boxes has a link out to something. So it's a really fun way to kind of do it. All right, so I'm looking at the time. Gabby, I'm going to come back to you. Has there any questions come through?
Thank you, Laurie, so much. I was like stunned for a minute, just like looking at the July calendar. I'm just like mesmerized by the animations. It looks so pretty, it looks so engaging. I wish it was July. Um,
Yeah, me too.
this has been so great. Yes, definitely. If there are questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A function as well. And anything for me and Jenna, anything for Laurie, anything that you need us to go over, anything like that, please let us know. Laurie, I had a couple of questions
Sure.
that I just kind of wanted to ask. So I know that you have, again, of course, created these newsletters and these calendars and things like that, and you're sharing them with your students. What has been the student and also the parent reaction? I wonder, or response to these. I wonder if you could speak to both the students and the parents and family members responses.
Yeah, so the students, they just want to build. They really want to get in and try it out. The first time you introduce Buncee, if you're brand new to it, the first time you do it, I would always have them create some sort of like all about me. That way they can look at and find images that relate to them. Have them do 3 things like I showed at the beginning, and find the items that mean a lot to them. Let them play around. It doesn't have to be structured when you're introducing Buncee, because it's just one of those types of tools that kids just pick up very easily. And the oohs and ahs, just be ready for it, and the excitement when they start to do it. You always have some kids that get like fixated on like, oh, I really love motorcycles, and oh wow, look how many there are, or whatever it happens to be. And then they get excited about like searching. Like they don't have to be able to read, they can search by the images, which always excites kids too. From the parents' perspective, they're just excited to see their kids being creative. They're somewhere between, like I would say, between 2nd and 3rd grade, just because I'm in classrooms a lot. Kids start to think that they're not creative creatures, and we all are. We all have the ability to be creative, and Buncee really makes that attainable. It makes it easy for us to be able to be creative, because it's such a creative tool. So I think that that for parents, they just love seeing the kids get excited. They're always interested in the animations, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been really, really fun. I am going to put in the chat the link to this Buncee. That way you have access to all of the things that I showed you. Absolutely. I put my email on the screen too. Please reach out at any point with any questions. And then I did share, I do have one tomorrow with Buncee. They're doing one for my region, but it's open to anyone who wants to come to learn more about SEL. So I did put that bit.ly on there as well if you want to join us and learn some more tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yes. Definitely looking forward to that as well. And additionally, I wanted to, as a reminder, as we're wrapping up, definitely, if you would like to create your own calendars or newsletters and things like that, if you were able to do that along with us as you were, kind of watching Laurie, we'd love to see that. Or if you want to take some time and make something, later on, or, as we go into the next day, please do. We'd love to see it, and please share with us on social. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen again, just as a reminder, so that you have the information you need so that you can do that. For our giveaway. Again, we are giving away, we are giving away a free subscription to Buncee Classroom Plus. And the way that you do that is definitely make a Buncee about what you learned, make a Buncee newsletter, calendar, something along those lines, something that you'd like to share with your parents, your family members, your students. Share it with us on Twitter. Go ahead, tweet it at us. You can tag @Buncee and also add the Buncee hashtag. It's hashtag BTS with Buncee. So it's back to school with Buncee. And tag 3 friends. If you do all of that, you'll be entered into the drawing to win a free subscription to Buncee Classroom Plus. Again, if you're brand new to Buncee, if you want to learn more about it, this is an excellent opportunity to explore, and feel free to see and discover everything that Buncee has to offer. If you are a Buncee user, this is an opportunity for you to maybe share with your friends and give them the gift of Buncee, especially great, again, as we're going into that school year. I did want to show you also and just remind everyone also that we do have our next back to school webinar coming up please stay tuned for more of our live sessions in our back to school series as well. The next one coming up, of course, is Laura Steinbrink, and it's going to be September 23rd, 6 p.m. ET as well. The link is that bit.ly right there. I will drop it in the chat as well, just as a reminder again to please join us next time. So with that, I think I will turn it over to just Jenna, if you would like to say any other words.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Gabby. Laurie, I just want to say thank you for sharing all this with us. It looks like everybody had a really good time in the chat. A lot of good little holidays everybody added, and yeah, your energy, your smile, your happiness is super contagious, and I think everybody really felt that in this presentation. So thank you.
Thank you. And the next one with Laura is going to be absolutely amazing. So I can't wait for that one.
Absolutely, me too. I'm so excited. This was an excellent way to start off the school year, and I'm looking forward to more of our back to school webinars. Thank you everyone so much for joining in. I have shared the link again in the chat for Laura Steinbrink's webinar for next week. So definitely, if you haven't registered yet, definitely join in. We'd love to see you. But I think that brings us to the end of our webinar. Thank you everyone so much for joining in. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and take care. We hope to see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.